Hi guys, Harbs Narbs here. I've seen a few people online ask why the companions are level 1, when all of them seem to have quite powerful background stories. I suppose this is a problem that D&D and many video games have, especially when they start you off in a position of authority or power, but it is just accepted that you are not that powerful. It's important because we want to be the ones to build up our character, but not every story needs to start with us being bottom of the ladder in the game world or in Dungeons & Dragons. Perhaps you have an awesome backstory for your character, but the DM still wants everyone to start at level 1 for their campaign. Well, that's fine in my games, it's something that we don't think about too much. In another video that I made recently, I proposed that the Illithids have chosen specific individuals to become true souls, and others to immediately transform into Illithids. Well, as a group in Baldur's Gate 3, we all seem pretty powerful. We have a Githyanki who is described as being ferocious even by the standards of a Githyanki Kresh, a famous warlock known as the Blade of Frontiers, a cleric of Shar who has been entrusted with a mission to retrieve an item of great power, a human wizard who has ambitions to become the greatest wizard Faerûn has ever known, and a vampire spawn that has been alive for centuries. It feels like they should be more powerful. I'd be happy to accept their level 1 status as a game mechanic, and I think a lot of others would too, but have Larian already given us the reasons for why they're level 1? Let's take a look. Astarion. It could be argued that given Astarion has existed for centuries as a vampire spawn, that he should be more powerful. After all, they are supposedly faster and stronger than the average elf, but remember that before Astarion was turned he was a magistrate, not a warrior or a hunter. He was apparently an elf with a relatively normal job. Since he was turned, he has been under the thumb of his master, Cazador, likely with very little freedom, and possibly kept deliberately weak, with Cazador badly mistreating him. Astarion does say himself that he was kept as a slave under the command of the Tsar family. When we meet Astarion in the world, he is shocked that he can walk in the sunlight and is surprised that he no longer needs permission to enter a person's house.
I can just walk into homes now.
And yet is still vulnerable to running water. The world, it seems, is very new to him, with him saying that he can remember very little of his life before becoming a vampire spawn.
I can't remember much, truth be told. Centuries of torment will do that to you.
Although vampire spawns may be stronger than your average mortal, Astarion is possibly quite ill-experienced in combat and is almost like a baby experiencing or re-experiencing many aspects of the world for the first time. Wyll. Let's take a look at what the Blade of Frontiers has to say on how he gained his prowess in battle.
Torched the whole god's damned village. The bugger gouged out my eye and left us all to burn. I vowed to the hells and the heavens that I'd make him pay. So rose a woman from the town's ashes. She called herself Mizora. My soul shivered as soon as her lips touched my ears. She promised I'd have my revenge. Mizora would forge me into a hero. I'd have the power to slay my every enemy, save their every victim. All in exchange for my endless devotion.
Yes, Wyll is kind of a fraud. His talent is not natural and nor is it earned. Mizora has granted Wyll his power. Spike calls him a pussycat when he sees him, a possible reference to Wyll's weakness in the past. Wyll is desperate to find Mizora. If he finds her, then he can be free of her deal, and he is concerned what the Absolute wants with her. They haven't killed her yet, so the cult might want her to become a true soul. Wyll is so desperate to find her, in fact, that he is willing to torture this guy in order for Spike to give up her whereabouts. But why is the Blade of Frontiers, the legend of Baldur's Gate, only level 1? Well, it could be to do with a conversation that Gale and Wyll have together when you have them in your party.
Was a time I tussled with hill giants without breaking a sweat. Now a mere werebear could swap me halfway to arm.
Strange things are happening to us. What festers in our minds may well impel our bodies.
Yes, although Gale gives the tadpoles as an excuse for what Wyll is lamenting about, I hardly think that this is the case. I mean, why would the tadpoles have that effect? Surely it is beneficial to the cult of the Absolute that true souls retain their martial and physical prowess. I suspect that Wyll is weaker than he once was due to some kind of interruption in his connection with Mizora. Shadowheart. Shadowheart is probably the most intriguing character in my opinion, but I've spoken about why in another video linked below. Let's see what Shadowheart has to say regarding her past.
No, I can't. I mean, I literally can't. There's certain things I can't remember right now. Shah's secrets must be preserved above all else. All who worship her know this. I have had certain memories suppressed, voluntarily, so that I can serve Shah without compromising her. If I manage to return to Baldur's Gate and fulfill Shah's mission, then my memories will be restored.
So she has had her memories wiped. After all, one of Shah's domains is forgetfulness, and those that wish to forget may embrace the Mistress of the Night. We can see snippets of Shadowheart's mysterious past when she comes across a Selûne statue, but it is best to send her to this statue on her own for a more detailed cutscene.
Your breath catches. The remains of the Selûne statue are defaced with Sharan markings. They must have raided this place long ago. They would have needed a stronghold in the region, surely. Your mind races. If Shah still has a presence nearby, those faithful to her could help you. You pause. A sharp, tingling sensation is spreading from your fingertips. The pain fades. You stare at your hand, wondering what in Shah's name that was.
If we carry on with Shadowheart on her own around the blighted village, then we can come across a game of hopscotch. With stars on the face of it, she says the following.
Looks familiar. Did I play this once? Long ago?
Just over from this, we find a poster for missing children. What happened to these children? I have theories of course, but that's not for this video. Perhaps when Shadowheart's memories were wiped, she was then entrusted with the mission to get the mysterious artifact, or as it is described in her bio, a relic of great power. Maybe the process of wiping her memory weakened her, and this is the reason why she is level 1. Perhaps her abilities were never that important, but her dedication to Shah was what was most required of her. Gale. The wizard from Waterdeep has a base knowledge of a great many things. He understands the process of ceremorphosis, he recognises the mirror in Ilintoth's lair and seems to comprehend the power of the teleportation runes that we can find scattered around the map. Yet he is a level 1 wizard lacking in truly great power. This comes down to his relationship with Mystra and the power that he has lost. Let's see what he has to say on the matter.
I've lost Mystra. I sought to impress her personally, to turn the eyes of my muse upon me, to win favour of a goddess, but I failed. And all I invoked was death and dismissal. My death, her dismissal.
Gale's level 1 explanation is definitely the most obvious out of all the companions. His broken relationship with Mystra has caused his loss in power, but he is clearly keen to get it back. We just have to see the options of his desire when he looks into Ilintoth's mirror to understand his true intentions. This mirror is actually good at reflecting a number of companions' true desires, and I recommend putting all of them in front of it. Gale focuses specifically on becoming a Mythal in his own right, and a living manifestation of Netherese magic. Mythals were immensely powerful objects that usually had an extremely powerful magical effect. They are often used to protect entire cities, and they can alter the weave itself. They are rare, and to become an actual living Mythal seems like a challenge at best. The footage I used of Gale in this video seems to be linked to playing as a cleric of Mystra, and I've linked Aurora Patera's channel below where this footage is from if you want to see more footage of a cleric of Mystra's interactions with Gale. I've also linked Macalic's videos regarding a very interesting theory around Gale. I won't give my opinion on it, but go check it out, it's certainly interesting and worthy of your attention. Lae'zel. Although Lae'zel is described as ferocious even by the standards of a Githyanki creche, she was taken from a creche and has likely not even been to the astral plane or to Narath, the city of the Githyanki and the seat of Vlaakith's power. If she was taken from Creche Kalir, then it is unlikely that she has passed the final trial of the Githyanki youth, which is to slay a mind flayer and bring its head to Vlaakith. She may be ferocious, but she is young by the standards of Githyanki society, which she currently sees through rose-tinted goggles, and although she has great aspirations to move up in it, she has found herself in the woeful position of having been implanted with an illithid tadpole, ostracizing herself from Githyanki society even before her journey within it has properly begun. In straight one-on-one combat in a fair setting, perhaps Lae'zel would be far more powerful than a level 1, but she is in unfamiliar territory. She broke free of the Mind Flayers only to be immediately captured by tieflings. She makes frequent comments about the strange worlds she is in, and is not very clued up on its races.
I suppose I am as alien to you as you are to me. I know of your kind, but I do not often encounter them. That large, fleshy nose of yours looks like a mistake.
I think it could be fair to say that Lae'zel's level 1 status doesn't make sense in a combat sense, but upon Toril, without her fellow Githyanki warriors and caretaker, it is possible that her naivety and lack of social graces compared to the world around her is her greatest weakness, and she still has a lot to learn about Toril. Okay, so those are all the main companions, but there are 2 more I'd like to talk about. These companions have been confirmed through a data mine, and so if you don't want to continue watching, then please stop now. So, this is Karlach, who is the tiefling we can meet down by the river. Her class hasn't been properly confirmed yet, but Chublot does a fantastic video focusing on Karlach specifically, which has been linked below. Her level 1 status will also be quite easy to figure out, given that she says this.
Back in the Blood War, my commander gave me what I needed to get the job done. I have fire running through my veins. I don't work for her anymore, so I'm back to relying on muscle and steel.
Her power in the Hells as a servant of Zariel was far superior to her current form upon the material plane. As for Minsc, well, I'll be honest, I'm not entirely sure how they'll justify bringing him down to a level 1, but I of course have a theory, and it lies in a book that we can find in the Druid Grove called A Primer on Mythical Beasts. It says the following. Miniature giant space hamster. Very little is known about this particular cryptid, though stories say they tend to choose well-muscled human males as their steeds when they deign to visit this plane. According to legends, this creature retains a wellspring of indescribable power, known only to itself, though it provides its steed with perhaps mystical, perhaps mundane, courage. Unsubstantial rumours claim the creature has a taste for human eyes. Could it be that Minsc's level 1 status will be down to him losing Boo? If Boo is lost and he was actually responsible for Minsc's strength and courage, then it could explain why Minsc is level 1. Anyway, that is purely a massive shot in the dark, but does this book hint at a future quest involving us helping Minsc getting Boo back? Okay, thanks for watching guys. If you enjoyed this video then do please give me a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!